Well, this is a game played between Zuse Polgar and Boris Spassky. Spassky was playing white here. This is a very instructive game and shows what a strong player can do in the Falkbeer counter gambit and how he can play this gambit well. Uh, the game went like this: e4, e5, f4, d5, e takes d5, c6. So Polgar offers the C pawn right away. Knight c3. Now Spassky does not accept this pawn. Instead, he brings his knight out to c3, develops immediately. E takes f4, knight f3, bishop d6. Now, we have already stated that the best pair for bishop is c5, but here Spassky has a clever idea. Spassky can push the d pawn up to the fourth rank instantly because this knight here on f3 is guarding the square, so the bishop cannot take. And that is probably why Miss Polgar did not develop her bishop to c5 square. So anyways, bishop d6, d4. And this is a main idea that we have also studied in the Quaid gambit and in the Bezier defense as well, to push the d pawn up to the fourth rank. White often does that. Knight e7, d takes c6. Now that this pawn is threatened, Spassky takes. Knight b takes c6, d5, hitting the knight. Knight b4, bishop c4, bishop f5, bishop b3. Now the point of the move bishop b3 is to bring the bishop to a4, then checking the black king. And there are no other moves for black but to bring this bishop back to d7, which looks pretty bad. And that is why Suzy Polgar chooses to castle, which is quickly followed by a castle by Boris Spassky himself. And I think from here on, both sides have equal chances, but Boris Spassky is a much stronger player than Suzy Polgar, and so he manages to win. Bishop g4, knight e4, knight f3, c3, knight a6, bishop c2, bishop c7, knight f2, bishop takes f3, queen takes f3, knight e3, bishop takes e3, f takes e3, knight g4, queen g5, and so Spassky is defending very, very calmly in this position and is coming up with excellent ideas over the board. So there are no real threats for the black's king, who is resting on g1 square, and the rook also is lined up on the semi-open f file. So there is lots and lots of counterplay for white. And the game went on. Rook a e1, rook a e8, king h1, preempting the possibility of an attack on this diagonal. e2, rook takes e2, rook takes e2, queen takes e2, queen takes d5, bishop b3, queen d7, knight e5, bishop takes e5, queen takes e5, knight c7, h3, c8, queen e7, king h8, rook takes f7, rook takes back, bishop takes f7, b6, b4, a5. And I think it's pretty remarkable that Suzy Polgar has managed to play thus far with somebody like Boris Spassky. But you can see that Mr. Spassky has an extra pawn here, and so it shouldn't be any wonder that he just went on to win this game. B5, H6, A4, Knight A8, Bishop E6, Queen B8, Bishop D5, Knight C7, Bishop C6, Queen C8, C4, Knight A8, Queen B7, Queen takes B7, Bishop takes back, Knight C7, C5, Bishop takes, B takes C5, B6, Knight E6, Bishop D5, Knight F8, and Bishop C6. Now, here is where Ms. Polgar resigned, because there is absolutely no way of stopping this pawn from going to the B8 square, because the D7 pawn, D7 square is guarded by the bishop. So this is an example of a very strong play from white side. And we see after e takes d5, c6, Boris Spassky does not take the c6 pawn, instead develops his knight to c3, and after e takes f4, develops his other knight to f3, thus preventing black from launching any flank attacks from the h4 square and avoiding any complications. And then bishop d6 is because of this setup of Boris Spassky, that he can push the d pawn up to the fourth rank, and the bishop has to go back anyways. So this is an example of a clever play, and perhaps in another video we can look at how Mr. Blackburn played the Falkbeer scam.